Hey guys, another Open Dragon Mouth, and I needed a little bit of time before I made this video because I had spent a lot of time rendering all my Anthrocon videos, uploading them, and oh wow, some of these videos took like a whole day to render, and like even more time to upload to YouTube, and just checking up on them because last year my Anthrocon videos were among some of my most popular videos, and right now my Anthrocon video is at 100 views exactly. I also have a video of the Dragon Show and Whose Line Is It Anyway? Both of them have over 300 views. Now, the previous Anthrocon, if I can go back and take a look, as I know they're up in the thousands, and yeah, my Anthrocon 2016 video almost has 9,000 views, and the Whose Line Is It Anyway panel from that year is I think it's now the most popular on my channel. It's at 13,602 views. So that is, I didn't even think that any one of my videos would get that many hits. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about what happened at Anthrocon. Some of you already saw on the videos. Overall, I did enjoy myself. But you ever get that feeling where you think everything's good, but there's just something that doesn't feel right? You ever get that feeling? Because even though I enjoyed myself there, something felt a little off. Let me try to run down a few things. First, remember that if you saw the video, the pre-con social mixer, well, that turned out to be a flop because 8 o'clock came and there was hardly anybody in that room. And by the way, that was not the zoo. The zoo was actually moved upstairs to the 4th floor above the Spirit of Pittsburgh ballroom. So that was a mistake that I failed to correct. That one room that was there, that was actually still being used as a panel room, which explains why the stage was there. So yeah, I'm not quite sure why people didn't show up for the social mixer, which is really unusual. What else? If you've seen the video, I've also mentioned that there was, well, no, I put it on my Twitter actually, that I got the numbers for attendance. Now, the fursuit parade, the numbers went down. Last year was 2,100. This year, the fursuit parade went down to 1,890. That's a 10% drop. And as for regular attendance, the numbers went up slightly. It went up slightly up to 7,544, which is about a 3% increase. So I see this as a warning sign, because it looks like the attendance is waning. Now I could immediately say it has to do with the controversy earlier this year, but at the same time, it could also be that the convention is getting too big. It could be that it may be getting too expensive to go there. I mean, what did I say? The attendance was $55, $60. But again, with the controversy, I still go there because I love the city of Pittsburgh. These are some great people to meet. I have people that actually want to attend the convention. And every year, for the past few years, I've been seeing all these people come out and support in support to the convention. Not just the convention, the furries themselves. So, as to whether I'll attend next year, we'll see. Next year's theme is movie monsters, so they could be going in with the kaiju theme as we did with BLFC, or could be just Halloween monsters. That's what they say what the name of the theme is. I'm not quite sure what kind of monsters they're referring to. So, what else do I need to mention? Oh yeah, there was something that happened, but I did not put on my Twitter feed because I didn't want to feed into it at the time until I found out what was going on. During the weekend, there was one fursuit that came out, which the name is Arkansas, owned by Magnus Deridian. Now, I didn't know much about this particular suit. It's pretty much similar to one other where it has a Confederate design in the back, and he was going around with a Trump sign. And you know how I feel about that guy. Now, I didn't see the suit in person, but it had blew up on Twitter, and people saying, this guy is a Confederate, he's racist. Blah, blah, blah. He was taken back to his room, and from the word is he was banned from Anthrocon, but not because of the fursuit. Let's make that clear. According to a close friend of him, a close friend of Magnus, it was because that he did not pay for registration. That's the reason. They have the letter to prove it. So it is not because of the fursuit, it's because he did not pay for registration. He was ghosting the con. And even aside from that, I think that this was, I looked to it, I think this was more of a case of trolling than anything else. So that's pretty much how I feel about that. We also had the Ursa Major Awards, which I have the winners. Best Anthropomorphic Motion Picture, not a surprise, Zootopia. And yes, they are making a second one, which is in the works right now. Best Anthropomorphic Dramatic Short Work or Series is My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, Season 6. Let's see. Best Anthropomorphic Novel, My Diary by Frederick Siku Kruger. Let's see. Best Anthropomorphic Short Fiction is 400 Rabbits by Alice Huskytier Dryden. Best Anthropomorphic Other Literary Work is Gods with Fur, which is edited by Fred Patton. Best Anthropomorphic Nonfiction Work, The Art of Zootopia by Jessica Julius. Best Anthropomorphic Graphic Story, Two Kinds by Tom Fishback. Best Anthropomorphic Comic Strip, House Pets by Rick Griffin. Best Anthropomorphic Magazine, wow, you kidding me? Dog Patch Press. Now that one I disagree with. I've talked about Dog Patch Press before. I don't like how they run it, so I don't understand why they chose them. Best Anthropomorphic Published Illustration is Tracy J. Butler, who made the cover of last year's Anthrocon book. Best Anthropomorphic Game, Major Minor, which was developed by Clace and published on Steam. And keep in mind, that particular game was up against Pokemon Sun and Moon, Overwatch, Bear Simulator. And finally, Best Anthropomorphic Website still goes to Fur Affinity. Their next presentation will be May 4th through 6th at Fur DU in Queensland, Australia. Let's see, what else do we have? Now, going into... Let's talk Disney, because this past weekend was D23, which is a biannual convention where they make some big announcements, some big plans for the company as far as the parks, movies, you name it. And the first thing I want to go into is that they've made a change with voice acting with Kermit the Frog. Everybody knows who he is. He was played by Steve Whitmire, but they have announced that he has been released after working for 27 years. And I've looked this up, and a spokesperson for the studio said that he was let go due to repeated unacceptable business conduct. So he's been doing something that he's been warned about for several times, and he just kept doing it. But they have already chosen a new performer, which will be Matt Vogel. So I'll keep an eye out for any more Muppets material and see how different he'll sound, if any. Now, now also at D23, they've been releasing some clips of some live-action remakes, which has been a thing for them the past few years, and they have been hit and miss. The latest one they're making is The Lion King, which that's a very tough challenge considering that Lion King is one of their most successful movies of all time. And they have announced who will be doing the voices. Simba will be played by Donald Glover. Mufasa will be played by James Earl Jones. Seth Rogen is playing Pumbaa. Billy Eichner playing Timon, and John Oliver is playing Zazu. John Oliver. So Zazu is trying to get a British accent. Let's see. They've also teased a live-action remake of Dumbo, which has been announced will be released on March 29th of 2019. And they have rolled out a model of his appearance. And this is made by Tim Burton. And considering that he's made Alice in Wonderland, I don't know. I mean, to be fair, Dumbo did kind of have a dark story. So I didn't think Alice in Wonderland was really much of a dark story. It was just someone just seeing it while on drugs. But this version will star Eva Green, Michael Keaton, Danny DeVito, and Colin Farrell. Now, it is currently in production in the UK. And do we have a... yeah, I already said what the release date was. And they've also given a holiday film, The Nutcracker and the Four Realms, a release date of November 2nd of next year. Let's see. Alright, we got a weird story coming out of China. They are now blocking Winnie the Pooh for some reason. Now, the Chinese name for him and the images are being blocked on social media sites because bloggers have been comparing him to China's president. And that would be Xi Jinping. So I'm taking a look at this because the website has an image side by side, and I was going to make a little joke about it, but I'm rather not, because that's getting into a little racist territory there, so I'm going to keep my mouth shut on that. Yeah, I was going to make a little joke there, but I'd rather not touch that. Let's see. But yeah, I'm looking at, and I really don't get what the joke is. Because you know who Winnie the Pooh is. He's this yellow bear. He's plump. Now, I don't know much about Xi Jinping, and I don't really see what the comparison is, but apparently he probably saw this as an insult. So, and China does pretty much has control of what content their citizens get to view. They can't even see the Tiananmen stuff from back then. Let's see. There was one other thing I was going to talk about. Oh yes, and they've also announced some changes to the parks. Which, by the way, I did visit Pandora at Animal Kingdom, and I have recorded my experience on my phone. I didn't have my normal camera with me, but I'll upload it, and you guys can get to see what's there, what kind of experience you're going to get. Let's see. And one of the things I do know is that they're planning to put a Tron roller coaster at Tomorrowland, and I believe it's in place of the Speedway, which I can get by. I mean, it does fit in with the futuristic theme of Tomorrowland, and the Speedway was getting dated, and considering that you have to deal with the hot Florida heat during the summer, and you're only going at a snail's pace and on a track. And they're also replacing Universal Energy with Guardians of the Galaxy. That I can also get by with. Let's see, and I do have video of that somewhere in my channel, of the ride itself, which is pretty slow moving. Is really meant to just get you out of the sun. There was some more, and I believe that a lot of it was Star Wars related, which I'm not a Star Wars person. What else today? Yeah, I know they've announced something else. Oh yes, I almost forgot. I did. I think I talked about this before, but they are closing down the Great Movie Ride, a personal favorite of mine at Hollywood Studios. So instead, they're going to replace it with Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. I don't know much about it, but they are planning. See, some of the animation they got in there is contemporary. It's a contemporary style, like you see it in some of the cartoons that they make nowadays. Which I would prefer that they do it in the classic theme that we're all familiar with. Let's see. And they are also, yeah, here it is. They are planning to make, if I'm right, this is a different land. They're making a Star Wars land titled Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. It applies to both lands in Disney World and Disneyland, set to open in 2019. There's also going to be a Ratatouille ride in Disneyland Paris that will make its way into the France Pavilion in Epcot. So that I can go with, because there's really hardly any rides in the World Showcase. And no, I have not done Frozen in Norway. That's not even Norwegian. The only other ride I can think of is the Grand Fiesta Tour in the Mexico Pavilion, which is actually not bad. Let's see. And they're bringing back the gondolas. Now, back in the day, there used to be the Skyway in the Magic Kingdom, which connected from Fantasyland to Tomorrowland, and they closed that for quite a while now. I think it was mainly because of maintenance issues. But now they're planning to bring it back. See, it says the Skyliner gondola transportation system is coming to Walt Disney World, along with a brand new Disney Vacation Club resort called Disney Riviera Resort. That'll serve as the hub for the gondola. Over at Disneyland Resort's Paradise Pier, it is set to become Pixar Pier during the park's Pixar Fest next year. The Hotel New York in Disneyland Paris will now be rethemed into a Marvel hotel, and a luxury Star Wars hotel is coming to Walt Disney World. I'm sorry, I'm getting really tired of the Star Wars stuff. I get that it's popular, but again, it's not something for me. And the fact that they've already made a Star Wars area for Hollywood Studios, they're making a different land, and now they're going to make a hotel. And not to mention they're making these movies. Oi, I am just getting bombarded with Star Wars. Let's see, there's also going to be a live entertainment venue inspired by the Williswood Theater. That'll be in Main Street, USA, in the Magic Kingdom. There's also going to be they've revealed a blue sky concept for the future of Epcot's Future World, including more trees, the removal of interventions, and more. So interventions will be no longer. And yeah, there hasn't been much left. They've been pretty much stripping it out lately, because there's only a few exhibits left in there, and one side has been turned into a meet and greet. Toy Story Land in Hollywood Studios has been given an opening window of summer of next year. So that's pretty much a summary of what is going on with what they revealed in D23. So that is pretty much it, and done it within 25 minutes. Not bad. All right, so one more thing I need to talk about here. While I was in Disney, I did pick up some pins, and all of them for Zootopia. So I just couldn't resist getting these. And also, while I was at Anthrocon, I can't believe I forgot to mention this. Some of you already know that I have a third character in the making. You already know I have Loki as for my first character. Spike was my original character, but the first suit didn't come until about 3 years ago. Now I have a third one coming up, and I have already had the badge made, and going with the baseball theme of Anthrocon. And I had just noticed this. Look closely. There's actually sparkles in her eyes. So yes. That fursuit will be coming soon. I will give you an update as soon as possible. But in the meantime, this Dragon's Mouth is now closing.